Hello, my name is Jeffrey Tetzo. I'm one of the associate attorneys here at the law office of Bryan Fagan. Today I'd like to talk to you about community property in Texas relative to your divorce. If you have lived here, you've probably heard of the term community property, and when you ponder a divorce, property is one of the main issues that you're going to decide how your estate is settled as to what your property rights are, you and your spouse. So we have to start with the basic fundamental that as a community property state, once you're married to someone, everything that you acquire during the marriage is presumed to be jointly owned community property. It can be money, it can be land, it can be intangible property rights. It's all considered to be a presumption of a jointly held property. Now, before you're married, you can bring in a home, you can bring in your assets to a marriage. Those are not community property. Those are considered separate property that was yours before marriage and can be maintained as yours after marriage. However, there's a caveat here. If you have an asset that you bring into the marriage and it can appreciate in value during the marriage, then some of that value that's growing while you're married is considered to be jointly held community property of both spouses. But if you have something before marriage, that's one of the exceptions, and it's called separate property. There are a few properties that you can receive even during the marriage that will not be community property. Number one, if you get a gift and it is given to you specifically, then that is your property and you don't have to share it with your spouse. You should be careful though, if gifts are given to you and they're significant sums, make sure that if you want to claim it as your own, that you keep it somewhat segregated, or else your spouse could claim an interest in that and say, well, it was given to us, and then it would be presumed as a jointly held gift. One of the other areas that's very important is things that your family sets up for you specifically, whether it be a legal inheritance or a trust award. Those types of properties come to you specifically through a legal endowment or establishment, and they're designed to be given to you specifically from usually family or a account set up for your primary benefit, and so those are not community property that are received during the marriage. Then lastly, there's also legal awards that you may incur after marriage from injuries and things that are related to an injury that causes you to have to take care of yourself, your medical needs specifically, and get your own compensations. Those legal awards can be separate property, and your spouse does not necessarily have an equal right to those. So after that, you look at things that come about after marriage and are typically, again, going to be 50-50. That includes your retirement. Your retirement that you earn while married is a jointly held asset. Some people never even think about that. And you have a right to what your spouse earns and their retirement benefits while married as a 50-50 split. Now, your lawyers here at the office will tell you how that divides up. It's going to be used through that definite retirement benefits department and carved out specifically for the years that you were married and your spouse was vested in it. In addition to that, if there's a business during the marriage, it may be something that a spouse may say, hey, I did this totally on my own. I had my friends, I had my intellectual property. I think it should be my property. Your attorneys can argue that for you. Your spouse may try to gain a chunk of that asset as well. Those are things that are decided on a case-by-case basis, but overall, as long as you feel that there's a legitimate reason to claim that interest as somewhat of a separate right, then you have that burden in court to show that you get that award as a just and right division of your estate. Finally, I'd like to tell you at the law office of Bryan Fagan, if you want to draw up a prenuptial agreement or even a post-nuptial agreement, those are instruments that are designed to specifically allow you to take property that would have been community and set it aside for your specific individual claim. So that way you draw up a contract which we can help you draft to your specifications, and it will change that community presumption to exactly how that is drawn up. We'd love to help you with things like this at the law office of Bryan Fagan. We'll work extremely hard to do discovery and the things necessary to make sure you get a very fair and just division of your marital estate. So we'd love to help you. Please feel free to call us or contact us at www.bryanfagan.com. Have a great day. We'd love to help you with things like this at the law office of Bryan Fagan. We'll work extremely hard to do discovery and the things necessary to make sure you get a very fair and just division of your marital estate. So we'd love to help you. Please feel free to call us or contact us at www.bryanfagan.com. Have a great day.